we will launch SolidWorks and create a new part. Once we open a new part, we will begin with sketching on the front plane. As we can see that the arrow has been shown in this direction. We will click on the front plane and select sketch. We are in the sketch mode right now. The first feature for this geometry would be a boss extrude with a rectangle as its profile. We will select the corner rectangle and create a rectangle from the origin, as we can see here on the screen, and we will give its dimensions. I will use the right mouse click in order to get into the Smart Dimension tabs faster. Here we can see that it has a width of 120 millimeters. Next, it has a height of 35 millimeters and it would be extruded for 60 millimeters. We will go to the Features tab, go to Extrude Boss Base and enter a value of 60 millimeters. You can see that it is showing us the preview of how it would be extruded. We will click on OK and see this is how our geometry is generated. Now the next feature that we would add here is a cut extrude. For that we would sketch a rectangle on this face of the plane of the body. We will select the face and go to sketch. Here we'll use the normal tool in order to align this face normal to the screens. Now we can see that we are in the sketch mode right now. We will again select the corner rectangle and from this corner of the cuboid we'll create another rectangle. We will give its dimensions as mentioned in the drawing. Its width is 60 millimeters and its height is 10 millimeters. We will add the same over here. The height is 10 millimeters and the width is 60 millimeters. Now that we've created the sketch and it is fully defined, we'll move to Features, select Cut Extrude. In this case, we could use the Through All tab or the Through All option, as we know that this cut is through whole of the geometry. We'll click on OK and we can see that the geometry has been cut according to the profile we had input. After this, we would add another cut extrude feature. Again, we'll select this face and select sketch. Now again we'll select normal to and we'll sketch on this face. We'll select the corner rectangle again and from this end of the cuboid we'll create another rectangle like this. We will enter its value as 10 millimeters height and let's add a 10 millimeter height to this like this over here. Our height is 10 millimeters and we can see that this edge is from 15 millimeters from this edge. So we'll select both these lines and give it a distance of 15 millimeters. Now we can see that our sketch is fully defined and we again go to Features, select Cut Extrude, and here again we can use Through All as we know that the cut is through the whole body. We'll click on OK and here we can see our geometry has been cut. We can see that the geometry is beginning to get its final shape one step after the other. Now what we will do is that first we would create these two features. For that we will select this face and click on sketch. We will use the normal to command in order to set it normal to the screen. Now we'll use the sketch tool over here. What we will do is that we will create another rectangle from the end of the cuboid and we will define it using the dimensions. We can see that this width over here is 15 millimeters and the distance between two rectangles is 30 millimeters. What we will do is that we will create another rectangle over here like this. We'll use the inference line in order to give it its dimension, that is 15 millimeters in width. I will get out of the rectangle command over here because it has selected another one. Again I'll select Smart Dimensions and I will set the distance between both these lines as 30 millimeters. Now you can see that it is not yet fully defined because we haven't entered one dimension, that is this 15 millimeters from this edge. We'll select these two lines and give it a distance of 15 millimeters. Also, we'll have to specify the dimension for this line over here. If you didn't want to do this, you can delete this dimension and what you could do is that you could select both these lines and give them the equal sketch relation. You can see now the sketch is fully defined as well. We will move to features and select the boss extrude command. Here we want to extrude this up to a height of 20 millimeters from this surface. You can see that the blind command is on. We will enter 20 here and we'll simply click on OK. Now the only feature that is left in this 3D geometry is the holes. We will select this face and click on sketch. We will select the normal to set the plane normal to the screens. Now what we will do is that we will add a circle over here and we will add another one over here, and the centers would be at the similar distance. But first in order to define this, we have to either create a center line or give it a dimensions that is half of 60, that is 30. What we will do is that we will go to smart dimensions and set the dimension of the center of the circle as 30 from the top surface. To set it to center, now we know that it is at 20 millimeters from this edge. We will select this edge and the center and we will give it a distance of 20 millimeters. The distance between both the circles is 45 millimeters. We will use Ctrl Z to get back to the previous state. Now we will again get back to smart dimensions. We will select both the centers and set the distance between both of them to 45 millimeters. Again, the distance between these two would be, we will press escape. It is selecting the previous dimension. You have to make sure that you have no selections on. Now, in order to define this, what we will do is that first we will set the centers of both the circles as horizontal. Now you can see over here that in the relations it shows that there is a distance between both these centers and also they are horizontal. Now we will give this circle a dimension of 20 millimeters as shown over here. It has a dia of 20 millimeters. Okay, now that we've done this, you can see that this sketch has been fully defined, but this does not have a radius dimension yet, so it is not fully defined. What we will do is that we will select both the circles and give them equal sketch relation. We will press on OK, and now you can see that our sketch is fully defined. We can add our final feature, that is the cut extrude. We will move to cut extrude and select through all for this command. Now we will simply press on OK, and you can see it has generated a circular cut on this surface of the geometry. We will use Ctrl 7 in order to set this geometry in the isometric mode. You can see over here that we have created the same geometry as we can see in the picture over here. We only used the boss extrude and cut extrude command. I hope it was very clear how do you sketch on the faces of the geometry and extrude your sketches using boss extrude or cut extrude command. I hope everything was clear. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.